Thanks. It's me, Kerie Crystal Moonrise, and welcome to yet another episode of Gig Side Chat and Tarot. Now, I did a couple of videos with this. This is gonna basically be one of my playlists. Okay. I did another video, two videos actually. So this is the third video with this topic. Okay. Gig Side Chat and Tarot. Now, what am I talking about? Okay, so for those of you who are catching up to my content, since I'm, kind of posting again, I do community service where I have a couple of apps that I use to find opportunities to do some errands for people in the community, whatever community I might be in. Okay, so I might use their gig apps. Okay, so I may use a gig app in order to find an opportunity in order to, do what I consider as community service. Right? Somebody might need an errand run, whether that's groceries or food from a restaurant or just a couple of items from a store. I have made myself available to be able to do some of those errands for folks, and I use the gig apps in order to find those opportunities. All right, so the title of this is Case of the Rage Baitin Bandits. Okay, now, so I'm going to basically be telling you guys a story about an incident that transpired not too long ago. I mean, now I will say this: there are plenty of opportunities that I have when I'm interacting with people where it's uneventful, nothing to see here, folks. It's just a smooth errand. Okay. And then there's other opportunities that have presented themselves that may not have been so smooth. Okay. So some of those are the ones that I may bring up on this channel because the way I see it, they're giving me content. So I'm so happy and grateful that I have so much content to put together to make the videos for this playlist. All right. So, and hello to everyone who is popping in, whether you're here for a moment or for the whole video, whatever. Thank you. I appreciate your participation. All right, so let me tell you the story. So this particular story, I had I don't even know what the app was, and I'll I referenced this app in one of my previous videos as it. Okay, so I was using that particular app. That's just my own personal abbreviation for that app. Okay, it's not to say that there's anything icky about the app. Absolutely not, per se. But it's just my way of identifying which app it is that I'm referring to, and I'll just kind of keep that to myself. All right. So I had gotten an offer for an errand that somebody needed to be done. So I reviewed it and I decided, okay, I'll take this particular offer. I'll run this particular errand. So I ran the errand, and after picking up the items that were on the list, I then went to drop them off to the person, right? So it just so happened that the location for where they were being dropped off to was a hotel, okay? A very upscale hotel that I have actually delivered items to in the past for other people who ordered errands or requested errands through that app. Okay. So I have, I'm pretty aware of who's at the valet station, okay, when I pull up to that particular hotel. Okay, there's a valet and there's a particular, they have their protocols. All right. So this particular time, I pull up and I see some children that are outside in the valet area kind of playing, bouncing a ball around. Okay. And so I'm like, okay, well, they're kind of in the way of a car having to come up through that area. So I'm driving very slowly. Okay. Being mindful that, okay, there's some folks kind of like in the way. So I drove up slowly up to the valet area, kind of, and then pulled my car to the side. Now, so at the valet station, there was someone who I have interacted with in the past, okay? And I've had pleasant interactions with this particular gentleman. Okay, I'll call him a gentleman to be nice right now. So I've had interactions with that particular person. And so in this particular instance, I pull up the car. I put my hazard lights on just to, reference. Okay, I know I'm not, in an area where I can really park the car like that. So let me just, be mindful of that. And so I pull up, but I couldn't pull up as close to the valet station that I normally would because of the people that were in the way. Okay, so I pulled up close enough, and then I got out of the car to go talk to the valet people. All right. So when I get out the car, I walk to the valet people, and I see that guy, and he's kind of like, there's 3 people at the valet desk. Okay. Usually there's not that many people when I have gone there in the past, but at this instance there was a couple of people. There was a woman, and there were 2 men. Okay. And thank you for the comments and the likes. Thank you. I'm not really reading the comments, but I do appreciate the interactions. So there was a woman and 2 men, okay, at the valet station. And then these kids that were just kind of like playing and bouncing the ball in the middle of a area where cars are coming through. So I thought that was a little odd that, the kids were outside playing where the cars kind of need to be moving around. But I just was, like, why are the kids out here playing like that? Anyway, so I left my car, put the hazard lights on with the car, walked up to the valet, and before I could even say hello to them, the lady says, inside. So now I'm like, whoa. It kind of caught me off guard a little bit, okay? Because I was in good energy. I'm like, okay, let me, go ask them. First of all, I wanted to make sure that they were aware that I was there, just to drop the item off to the customer that was inside of the building, and that I would be really quick, and just wanted to make sure my car was fine where I had pulled it over on the side. So that was what's going through my mind, because the guy has seen me before, because he's been the valet person that I have interacted with in past occasions. All right. So I get up there, and she says, inside. With that demeanor, she was just very dismissive. Okay? It's the best way I can put it. Very dismissive. And so I look at the 2 guys, and they're kind of like behind her, like doing that. Now I'm thinking to myself, what's going on here? Is this a scene? We got the kids playing where the cars are kind of like, need to be coming through. They're bouncing a ball. Now I'm like, do I need to pay closer attention here? The adults are off to the side. We got these 3 valet people, and this lady's, clearly speaking to me in a way that she shouldn't have. And so now I'm like, okay, pay attention. So I gave her another opportunity, because in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, maybe in a split second, I'm thinking maybe she's having a bad day. Maybe she didn't realize how she said that to me. Maybe, I'm just kind of like going through moments of benefit of the doubt for the individual. I'm trying to look through things from a couple of lenses now. And so I said to her, I said, oh, I said, hi. I said, I couldn't even get my sentence out to her. I just, I'm here to do the inside. Oh. So I'm like, okay, she's trying to rage bait me. All right. What's the scene? Now I gotta pay closer attention. What's around me? Got these kids. So there's folks around. Uh, there's these guys who are now kind of like, doing that. And then I notice a patrol car kind of nearby. So I'm like, oh, okay, I see what this is. All right. So I'm bringing this story up because I think it's important for people who are doing, whether it's any type of work that you might be doing in different communities. Pay attention, because no matter how you may show up, okay, with a good vibe, good energy, just thinking that you just kind of are here for a quick little task. There's sometimes situations that may be orchestrated or not. People that may be in positions that just want to make it difficult for you. For whatever reason that might be. And the question is, how are you going to handle it? Right? So I was in a situation in that moment, found myself in a situation where I could have, gotten as, arrogant back with her. Right? Who you talking to? Blah blah blah. I could have, I could have gone there. Right? That's probably what she wanted, because she had her audience. And then that's the other thing. Sometimes people prepare an audience in order to then create a situation where they provoke an individual for a response of rage, so that they can then say, aha, or so that they can then say, well, I'm here in my space, and and they're trying to, whatever the lie is that they would then want to try to come up with to justify their arrogance. Okay, so I'm finding it very interesting that for so much of my life, I have resonated with the principle of doing unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Okay? I was brought up in a very, I'd call it pretty strict, a very confined, I was brought up in a bit of a bubble of a Christian environment. Okay? And in retrospect, I'd say I was probably one of the only ones in the bubble of that environment that was perhaps adhering to the rules of what it was that I was being taught. Okay, because in retrospect, people was doing all kinds of wild and out. Okay, from the pulpit to the door, and here I was someone who really was mindful of trying to treat people right, treat people with some respect. Okay, so that's kind of like been an underlying premise in my mind. Have I been perfect? Absolutely not. There isn't anyone who is. Okay, but from my perspective, I would try to do the right thing, whatever I may have thought was the right thing at the time, and I've made some wrong decisions in thinking I was doing the right thing. So again, nobody's perfect. Right? So as I have gotten older, the concept of the golden rule, right? That concept of treating others as you would have them treat you. I realize that not everyone operates from that reference point. Okay, And it's been a tough reality check for me over the course of the years, but I'd say more recently, to realize that there's a lot of people who do a whole lot of yapping about what's right and wrong, yet they're some of the main ones that are operating from the they're the main ones that are not doing what they're not practicing what they preach. Okay, that's the best way I can put it. So how do I tie that together with the lady at the valet desk? Well, I'd say that I'm proud of myself, but sometimes we have to do that, right? We have to sometimes pat ourselves on the shoulder, right? For how we might respond in a situation, right? Because isn't it about finding ways to respond versus react, okay? Because in a situation where somebody wants to create a rage baiting environment, they want you to react. And so I would admonish anyone out there that if you are finding yourself put in a position where people are egging you to react, that's when you take a pause, take a breath, and make a decision to respond. Sometimes things like that can happen in split seconds, right? She didn't know who I am, okay? She doesn't know me. Yet she found it validated in her experience to talk to me with disrespect. Because I found that extremely disrespectful. Because I wouldn't do that. If I'm just seeing someone for the first time and they're coming up to me, right? Perhaps with a question, especially if the person was a worker at that establishment. Her job, she didn't do her job. Her job was to entreat the people who were showing up to that establishment with some level of respect. She didn't do that. She was highly disrespectful to me right off the bat. Now, what I have found is that in the instances where I have encountered a lot of these situations, it does not matter what color the people are. People can have more melanin than me, or the lack thereof. It does not even matter. Because some of the ones that have treated me the worst have had more melanin than I. Yet, they'd be some of the main ones to bark, to whine, to cry about different things system-wide that may be geared negatively towards, right? I have learned that this whole black and white thing isn't the picture that it's been painted at all. Treat people with respect. Well, there's consequences for not treating people with respect. Those consequences can look a whole lot of different ways for everyone. Right? So let me rewind. So that lady and those men who decided that they were going to treat me with disrespect and then chuckle and laugh about it. Well, unfortunately for them, that was not a good move. That wasn't a good look. Maybe in the moment they felt some type of validation of maybe it felt egoic to speak to me in that manner, you know, what did she say? She said, inside. Almost flickering her hand, like, go away. Whoa. That's how you treat people? To me, that was a wicked way to entreat me. Very wicked. And so, I had to call judgment on it. And so that's going to look like whatever it's going to look like in the experience of the individuals involved. Because she shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have snickered, egging on her bad behavior. Oh, I will say the two gentlemen, or men, because they weren't gentlemen. The two guys, so she was highly melanated, and they were not. I'll put it like that. Okay? And why am I bringing that up? Because I think it's important. I think it's important for people to, well, for me, because people are going to do whatever they're going to do. But for me, it's important for me to realize that just because somebody looks like me doesn't mean that they're for me. And just because someone doesn't look like me doesn't mean that they're not for me. It's all based on the intention and the heart. What's in the heart? That's what matters. I don't care what colors you're wearing. I don't care what color you are. What's in your heart? Because that's what matters. All those other surface level BS that people try to make seem like as if that's so important. No, what's really important is where's the heart? Because I would say that lady's heart wasn't in the right place. Because I don't care what kind of day you have. How you entreat someone matters. Well, I'll speak for me. How you entreat me matters. Period. Because the way I see it, I don't ever have to see her again. Or I might see her again. Who knows? And she may entreat me the same way. But for me, I just say, y'all see that? Y'all. Who's y'all? My spirit team. I have a team. Spirit team. What does that mean? My ancestors, my spirit guides, my angels of all kinds. I have a spirit team. And they're always looking out for me. So, the way I see it, I don't have to say anything. I don't have to do anything. Did y'all see that? That's all I have to say. And I'm so happy and grateful that I am protected always. In all timelines, realms, and dimensions, known and unknown. Me and mine. Protected always. And those who want to be belligerent, arrogant, mean-spirited, evil, just downright wicked towards me, well, they're basically doing that to themselves because I returned the intentions back. So all the energy that it took her to squinch up herself to throw that word at me with such arrogance, that was a lot of energy. I keep that. I say thank you. The intention behind the energy, that's how she wants to be treated. So be it. People teach you how they want to be treated by how they treat you. So, unfortunately for her, that's how she wants to be treated. I wouldn't want to be treated like that. So, she treated me like that. I didn't treat her back like that. I just was like, word? Thinking to myself, y'all see that? Listen. Does she mean that? Let me come at her again. Let me give her another opportunity to not screw this up. And she still screwed it up. Came at me with the same intensity inside. Oh, I'm not a child. They're the kids, the ones out here that you should be telling them to get inside. Why are they out here? Hold on a second. What colors are they wearing? What color is the ball that they're kicking around? Now. Aha. Let's look at this from a broader lens now. They out here in traffic. They're the ones that should be inside. So you're gonna come to me and tell me inside. Ooh, okay. That's how she wants to be treated. So be it. And that's how they want to be treated. The guys that were with her, they want to be treated like they entreated me along with her because they corroborated with her in that entreatment. And unfortunately for them, that wasn't a good look. And this is for entertainment. Aren't you entertained by all of this? If you haven't checked out my other 2 stories, feel free to check them out. My last 2 live streams. The last one that I did was the case of the almost missing milk. And the one before that was about another shenanigan. And what I find interesting about all of this is that I have learned a lot. So I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful for all of the learning that I have been doing with these people and how they have been treating me. Some people have been wonderful. Some people have been straight up nice nasty. I could pick that up too. And they're just being nice nasty. And so I'm like, oh, so you want people to be nice nasty with you? So be it. Let's create more situations for people to be nice nasty for the people who want to be nice nasty. And for the people who want to be genuine and authentic, let's create more opportunities for them to experience more genuine and authentic interactions. That's how I see it. Because golden rule, from my perspective, works no matter what energy somebody throws out. Whatever the energy they're throwing out, that's the same type of energy they want to get back. It's a different era. It's a new dispensation. And I'm so happy and grateful that I realized that. Because there's a whole lot of people out here that don't. And they're just operating from a mentality that's just outdated. It's not where it's at anymore. Gone are the days where people can just do stuff to people and think that they're not going to get a consequence for that action. And I'm so happy and grateful that I realized that. And I'm also so happy and grateful that I am becoming more and more surrounded by individuals who are genuine, who are loving, who are caring, who are kind, who are real, and who operate from honesty and integrity. So no matter what types of projections individuals out here may try to throw in my way to reduce my vibration, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm so protected and strong enough to withstand it. There's a saying as kids, I don't know if the saying still applies these days or not, but there's a saying that I learned when I was a kid. It was, I'm rubber, you're glue. Anything you say bounces off to me and sticks to you, right? Little saying. Well, I kind of take that literal, especially with folks who are throwing negative energy in my direction, period. They shouldn't be. I haven't done anything to them. So they shouldn't be throwing me any shade at all. So if they're throwing me any shade at all, that just means that they want lots of shade thrown at them. So be it. And again, I'm so happy and grateful that I realized that. And I appreciate those of you who are popping on and I know you're here for a moment and then you go and then other folks pop in to watch and whatever. Thank you. I'm not paying attention to the chat, but those of you who may have said something in there, thank you. And thank you also for the likes. I appreciate it because there's so much going on out there, and you would think people would treat people better. And I'm glad that I'm able to talk about this, because if she would have said that to anyone else, they may have cowered down. They may have felt away. They may have cried. You never know what somebody's going through in their individual lives, and then one little nudge of the wrong type of a word or deed can just push them over an edge. So I say shame on her for that. And maybe she did have a bad day, right? I could go back to the benefit of the doubt. Maybe something terrible happened in her life to where she lost it for a moment and lashed out. But I'd venture to say probably not. It froze, so I don't know if it cut off or not, whatever. The point is, sometimes we can give folks the benefit of the doubt, but if they just if they go in again with the same intensity, with the same hardness, and with this, it's like, whoa, maybe, apparently, I shouldn't give you the benefit of the doubt. Apparently, you're teaching me who you are, and I'm grateful for that. So, hopefully, I never see that lady again. I really hope I don't. But I might. And now I know who I'm working with. And now I know it's inside. Right? I'll just bypass her, so I'll save her the energy of having to interact with me for me to have to call judgment on her again. What does that look like in someone's experience? I don't know. I don't care. It's not my job to care what it looks like in someone's experience from having disrespected me. That's their job to care. But people do what they do. And Again, I'm not perfect, but I do my best to try to entreat people in a way that I want to be entreated. So that's the difference. So I don't walk around treating people like she treated me. I just wouldn't do it. This is not who I am. Inside. Ooh, where? Are you, like, you talking to me? Wow, okay. No, you're talking to you. That's how you want to be treated. So, thank you. I'm glad I got that out. That story was sitting for a little while. And it felt good to just kind of diary it, unload that, unpack that a little bit, you know? And hopefully this might help someone else out there who might be doing something to help somebody and you just run into some nasty ass people. Just some people who just have some nasty energy about them. And you just can maybe take a note from how I handled this or not. Totally up to you. And just realize you could call judgment on it. Why not? You just make sure that you didn't do anything that wasn't wrong to where that backfires on you. So, it's a lovely day. I'm very excited to, to do other things today. But I just wanted to come on and do this video. I appreciate everybody who showed up. And I have more stories. Oh, do I? And listen, all of the interactions that I have are not like this. Some of them are nothing at all. They're just regular interactions. But then some of them help me realize how much I have grown. And for that, I'm happy and grateful. But I do want the other experiences of people who are just more friendly. People who are more friendly without being nice, nasty friendly. There's a difference. People who are actually genuinely friendly. I deserve that. Do you? Are you genuinely friendly? You know, sometimes when I'm out here, I may not look friendly. Because I have dealt with so many interactions with some folks that's just like, just don't even talk to me. You know? I got to check this person's work. I got to check that person's this. I got to double check that from that. It's like sometimes people just give me too much work to begin with, to where the whole being friendly thing is just like, don't even talk to me. So maybe that's something I have to work on. Right? We all have our work, don't we? But anyway, thank you. And check out my other videos if you're so inspired. Also, my website, legacykeyleaf.com. If you have any interest in any grounding materials, it's a metaphysical supply shop, okay? legacykeyleaf.com. So check out my site. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to so much positivity. Because if I don't look forward to the positivity, then my goodness, I have to look forward to the positivity. Because that helps me pull it in. That's how we attract. So keep your vibes up. Don't let these wobbly people out here get you off your purpose. And I'll see ya when I see ya. Thanks for your time. I'm Kerie Crystal Morales. And